Hey, and welcome to Girl Be Free, a podcast designed to help women get unstuck and cultivate the life you want on your terms. I'm Siobhan, your host, and I'm passionate about empowering women to live their best life. Each week, you'll hear pep talks that will inspire and push you to take action so you too can start to be free and live the life you want. You can learn more about me at BeFreeProject.com. Now let's jump into the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. All right, what I am loving this week, y'all. I don't even know if I talked about it on a podcast yet or not, but I have a team member now. Her name is Crystal, and we have been working together for about a month now. And y'all, she has been rocking it out. I knew I needed help with things, but I didn't know how much help I needed until I really got help, if that makes sense. So Crystal and I met back in October at the Purpose, Passion, Action event that I hosted in Raleigh, North Carolina with Alicia from the Alicia Nicole. And Crystal was one of the attendees there. And we've been following each other ever since. And so she reached out to me, I believe, like I said, about a month ago, telling me about or sharing with me how she could add value, the things that she could bring to the table, and how she wanted to help me. And she has been crushing it. I mean, the things that she has helped me with thus far, my mind couldn't have even stretched to that point because I've been doing so many things on my own and literally everything on my own. And so she's been helping me more so create systems and processes on the back end so that my events can flow better, and that I have systems in place for just every little thing when it comes to my events. And I have been doing I've been doing a good job, but again, I told y'all my word for this year is to shift. And if I want things to get better and improve, then I have to make sure that I'm doing the work to make sure that everything is shifting upwards. And she is helping me do just that. So I am so grateful. Yes, I am loving having a team member to take care of like a huge portion of my business because that is my focus this year. Hosting more in-person events and doing a tour and all these different things. So that is what I'm loving this week. Also, I want to say that the Be Free meetup is sold out, y'all. Hello, yay. So that's happening this upcoming Friday and it's sold out. There will be no ticket sales at the door. And I know in part it has something to do with just having a better flow of how things are supposed to go within my business. Also, I want to shout Crystal out because she is having an event this upcoming weekend on Saturday, March 17th. And it's called the Poised and Profitable Masterclass. And it's happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're in the area or you know anyone in the area and you want to be around other like-minded individuals to learn how to be profitable in your business and in your life, definitely take a look at that class and be sure to attend if you're in the area. I'm going to drop the link for you to register in the show notes. So definitely go out and support Crystal. And if you're listening, Crystal, hey girl, hey, thank you for all your help. All right, now let's get on to today's topic. And you may hear me pause a little bit because I am drinking water today. But today's topic is whose life are you living? So when was the last time you sat down and thought about how did I get here? Right? So many people, and because I'm a clarity cultivator and I'm always having conversations with women, like literally daily about what do you want for your life? What don't you want for your life? What areas of your life do you need to make some shifts or some transitions? What are some things that you need to start doing, things that you need to stop doing? Like I'm always asking questions because the goal is to help women become more clear about what they want for their life, right? And more often than not, I hear women say that they feel stuck or they're unhappy or they just feel like they're not reaching their fullest potential and they don't know how they got to the space that they're in and they desire more, like they want more. And like when you're growing up and you're a kid and it's like, you know exactly what you want. Like you say, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a teacher, or I want to do X, Y, and Z, or I want to, whatever that thing is, like you have an idea. But then once you become an adult and you start to work, more often than not, you probably are not taking the time to figure out like, okay, in every single area of my life, what do I want? Because we're so busy being the wives, the moms, the daughters, the granddaughters, the nieces, all that jazz, that we lose a part of ourselves and we forget to check in and say, well, what do you want? So instead of checking in and doing that inner work, we end up miserable, unhappy, unfulfilled. There's a void, like something is missing. You feel empty. And then, unless someone asks you the question, you keep going through this cycle over and over and over again, right? And so, if you can relate, I'm glad you're listening, because I'm going to share with you what I think would be beneficial. But let me just share my story. And I can't remember if I shared it in this way before, but I was the person who instead of defining my life for myself, I allowed society to define what I should do. So I got the undergrad degree. I went back and got the master's degree. I said I was going to work up the corporate ladder, have the fancy office, the briefcase, look cute and all, look cute in like suits and all that jazz, because I thought that was success, because that's what success was defined for me, or that's how success was defined for me. And it wasn't until I was working in corporate America, I had the husband, I had the house, I had the kids, I was making good money, right? But I wasn't happy. I didn't feel successful. Yeah, I had the stuff, but I didn't feel like, I just felt like there was something missing. And so what I realized is that I was living to someone else's standards and not my own. And the reason that I wasn't living up to my own standards is because I didn't even know what I wanted. So I felt this emptiness because there was a yearning for something more. But because I didn't sit down with myself to figure out what that was, I felt lost. And I know without any question that I am not the only person. I know that there are many women that feel that exact same way, because I get emails about it. And people attend my Be Free meetups and my Be Free life classes feeling like something is missing and they desire more. And so that's why I feel like my audience connects to me in a certain kind of way, is because I share this part of myself and then I challenge them to figure out, well, what do you want? And then and tell them, or allow them to give themselves permission to do that. That I don't care how old you are, like at any point you can shift the direction of your life, but you got to figure out what you want. And you want to be surrounded, and I've talked about this before, with people who will not put you down when you say you want to try something new. So let's just say you are an accountant, but you've always desired to travel the world, right? Like you want to travel and do more. And maybe you say you want to take a year off so that you can pursue that. You got to have the right people around you that will support and encourage you and maybe provide you with resources and information, versus somebody that's going to crush your dreams right away. But if there's something that you want, I honestly feel like you should be pursuing it with everything that you have. And the life that you're living, if you're very uncomfortable right now, or if you feel like there's something missing or you're yearning for more, I want you to ask yourself, am I really living the life that I want? Or am I living the life that society has told me to live? My parents have told me, maybe your friends, teachers, co-workers. Whose life are you really living? And if you're unhappy or you're dissatisfied, then the challenge is you figure out, how do you start to shift gears, right? How do you begin to transition into something that will feel good to you inside and out? Because for me, when I felt like, okay, there has to be something more, I wasn't really sure what that more was, but I knew there was something deep inside that desired something. And to be totally honest with you, and I think I shared this on a recent episode when I talked about getting laid off, if my job wouldn't have closed the site and laid everybody off, I'm not sure. Actually, I know, because there was a lack of confidence, insecurity, self-doubt. I would have still be sitting there today. I needed that job to close so that I would be able to really pursue that thing that I desired, right? And because I get asked the question, I share this on another episode, like, well, how did you know what to do? I started doing the inner work before the job laid me off. So I really feel like everything was purposeful. It was designed, and that when the opportunity came, and I do consider that an opportunity, I took a chance. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I wasn't going to do anything else that was going to leave me feeling empty, because I have felt that for way too long. I knew that I had to figure something else out. And at the end of the day, if I needed to go back to work, I could, but I was going to figure out, okay, what do I really deeply desire? And being an entrepreneur, that wasn't in the books, like, or the cards or whatever, like, that wasn't it. But it just so happened, as I was getting more clarity and asking myself the questions that I challenge women with all the time, that's what it became, because I couldn't find a position to be able to do what I do today. And I was asked I had a Reiki session this past Monday with Denise, my friend Denise from the Positive Life Haven. And one of the questions that she asked me was, what's that thing that you know without conviction that you are supposed to be doing, or you just know that is your truth? And what I said to her, without any question, I know that I am here to be a light and to empower others to be free. I know without question that I am in my purpose, and I am doing exactly what I have been called to do. Nobody, not one person, can walk up to me and say, Siobhan, you're supposed to be an accountant, or Siobhan, you're supposed to be teaching students at this particular school, or Siobhan, you're supposed to be a fitness instructor. You couldn't tell me any of that, because I know without any conviction that my purpose and my calling in life is to be a light and empower others to be free, and making an impact, a positive impact in the world, teaching women how to get unstuck, how to get clear about what they want so that they can cultivate a life that they feel good about. I know that I had to be stuck for 17 years of my life in order to be able to teach what I know to be true. If I hadn't went through all the things that I went through, I would not be able to be in the space that I'm in today. So you couldn't tell me that I was supposed to be doing anything else, because in my heart, deep in my soul, I have 100% clarity. I am where I'm supposed to be. Will there be challenges? Absolutely so. Will I hit bumps in the road? Will I make mistakes? Will I fail? Absolutely yes. Am I in purpose? Yes, I am. And there will be many ebbs and flows, roller coasters, all that jazz. But I am in my purpose. Can you say the same thing about your life? And if you cannot, it's okay. There's no reason for you to feel bad about it. But the challenge is that you figure out, what am I supposed to be doing? What do I want? And you're going to hear this throughout probably every single episode that I record on this Girl Be Free podcast. Is going to challenge you to get clear about what you want. It is heartbreaking for me to have conversations with women that I may have had conversations years ago, and they're saying the same thing year after year after year, and there's no change. Guess what? There's no magic to this. There's no fairy dust. You have to just position in your mind to say, no more. I'm tired of being tired and fed up and all that. I am going to figure out what I need to do next. Point blank. That is it. There's nothing magical about this. It's literally, you make a choice, you make a decision, and you do it. And you do it afraid. You do it without having all the answers. You do it without overthinking. You just do it. You do it because you do it scared. Sometimes you're going to have to do it alone, which I've done it alone for a very long time. But that's okay, because you're doing something. What hurts me is that when you do nothing and you know that there's something more for your life, but instead of taking that little bitty step, you stay where you're at. And then you wonder why things stay the same. I am not doing anything different from nobody else. All I'm doing every single day is making a decision. And I say, the women in my community, They need accountability. So let me see how I can provide that. Oh, they need more help with clarity. Let me see how I can help with that. Oh, they need resources and products that's going to make them feel empowered. Let me figure out how I can create that. God keeps giving me these ideas because I'm in my purpose, and He trusts me that I'm going to manifest the ideas that He gives me or put in the work to do it. And so I challenge you to think about, and I'm going to keep challenging you week after week after week to figure out what you want. When I was in this space of trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what is it? I had to have a heart to heart conversation with myself. And what I realized, and this is like, I guess, the foundation, is that I was missing a deeper connection with my inner self. And this is something that I shared this week in the Girl Be Free newsletter. So if you haven't read it, definitely check it out. But I had to have a deep connection with myself. And in return, I was able to figure out what I wanted because I started doing the inner work first, right? And so when I realized I lacked clarity, my emotions were all over the place. And I had to start doing the work internally in order to see things manifest outwardly. Okay. And so that once I figured that out, then I started to have peace. Then there was joy. Then I had more clarity and all of that. But again, I had to work with myself first. And I tell y'all all the time, I'm not done yet. I'll never be done. And I'm okay with that. There will always be something that I have to work on. And it's not easy, but I'm okay with that because I understand the journey and the process. So I want you to consider, well, not consider, I want you to think about whose life are you living? If there's anything that you're dissatisfied, if it's your weight, if it's your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your children, your money, your atmosphere, your social life, whatever it is, your spirituality, whatever it is that you are unhappy with, think about how am I going to fix it? Or not necessarily fix it, but how am I going to start to do the work to change it? All right. So last month I taught the Clarity Crash Course Workshop, and it was an in-person event in Cleveland, Ohio. Many people reached out to me via email, on Facebook and Instagram, asking me would I teach an online version. Absolutely, yes, I'm going to do that, right? And so I've announced it in the newsletter. I think I've shared it on social media a couple of times, but I am teaching the Clarity Crash Course Workshop online on Thursday, March 22nd at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be a 75-minute workshop where I'm going to teach you how to start getting clear about what you want. What steps do you need to take to move forward and really show up for yourself? There will be, like I said, there will be a 75-minute workshop, and then there will be a workbook to go along with the workshop. There will be live chat and Q&A and a community for you to connect with. So to register for that workshop, again, it is online. You can register by clicking the link in the show notes for today, so you can take a look at that. All right. And again, it's happening Thursday, March 22nd at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register by clicking the link in the show notes. All right, so your action step for this week, it was actually shared in the Girl Be Free weekly notes, so I'm going to share it here as well. And it's actually a journal prompt for this week. So as you're doing, like having your me time, like in the morning or whenever you have it in the evening, maybe before bed, I want you to answer this journal prompt. And it is, if you decided to fully live your life, what would be the first thing you would do? And I would suggest responding to that or writing it out in a notebook, excuse me, in a journal. Or if you want to share your response with me, you can always shoot me an email at hello@befreeproject.com. And that is what I have for you this week. So again, you will find all the show notes and all that jazz in the link, for the episode as well. And then if you want to donate to the Girl Be Free podcast, there's a link for that. Also, if you have suggestions for topics or questions that you would like me to answer on the show, there's a link for that. And then, let me say this. The Be Free meetup is sold out. That's happening this Friday. The next Be Free meetup will be on April 13th, so already mark your calendars. You're the first to hear it here. And then the link for that to register will be on my website as well. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved what I shared today, go ahead and share this podcast episode with your friends. Snap a picture of it and share it in your Instagram stories. Tag me on Facebook or what have you, and let me know that you're enjoying what you're listening to. Make sure you're subscribed and feel free to rate the show. And until next time, girl, be free. Thank you so much for listening. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling really fancy, go ahead and leave a review. Until next time, be free and live.